I like you to imagine two people, same country, same town, same kind of job, same intelligence and same work ethic. The only difference between them is when they were born. One of them buys a house on a single salary, retires at 60 with a guaranteed pension, and watches the house quietly earn more money than I ever did at work. The other work just as hard, but they can't afford the same house on two salaries, will retire later for less, and is told the reason they're struggling is that they buy too much coffee. Same person, different decade. And this difference is the single most important factor on how their life turned out. Not talent, not effort, timing. In the last video, we followed the money through the housing market and saw that rising prices don't actually create wealth, they transfer it from the young to the old. Today, we will look at the full picture, because housing is just the most visible piece in a much bigger story. Pull the thread and the whole sweater comes apart. Let's start where we left off, houses. Imagine the median home in a developed country costing like $300,000 in an affluent area. Today, the same house in the same area will cost up to $3 million, a 10-fold increase. Now look at the wages over the same period. They didn't rise tenfold, they maybe tripled, if you're lucky. So here's what this means in human terms. A generation ago, a house could cost you up to 30 months of salary. Nowadays, the same house could cost you up to 100 months of salary. Now just sit with that for a second. The same house, the same walls, the younger generation has to work 3 times as long. Even if they are more productive per hour than their parents ever were, even if they generate more economic output per day, they simply have to sell more of their life to afford the same shelter. This is not a moral failing. This is not the avocado toast that is the reason. It's arithmetic. The generation that bought in during the middle and late 20th century watched their homes multiply in value, often without lifting a finger. The house became a goldmine, not just free housing, but an asset they could borrow against to fund holidays, cars, second homes, and retirement. They got the home, and then the home paid them. The younger generation get the home, if they are lucky, and then spends decades paying for it. But housing is just the opening act. The luck runs much deeper for the boomers. Let's actually walk through it. Just take pensions, for instance. Many in the older generation worked careers with defined benefit pensions, guaranteed payouts for life, often index-linked, frequently letting people stop working in the early 60s. That model has largely vanished. The younger generation gets schemes where they carry all the investment risks themselves, and they will likely work more years to earn less. Also take education. In many countries, the older generation went to university for free, or nearly free. And a degree back then was a rare ticket to a good job. The younger generation now often pays heavily for the same education, graduates buried in debt, and walks into a market where a degree is now the baseline expectation rather than the distinction. They pay more for something worth less before they even started. Take job security. The older generation often had stable, long-term employment, a clear ladder, and rising real wages. The younger generation faces short-term contracts, gig work, and wages that have barely moved in real terms for decades. The old deal, work hard and you'll get ahead, has quietly broken. Take the cost of money itself. The older generation can put money in a bank and actually earn meaningful interest on it. For much of the younger generation's adult life, interest rates sat near zero, punishing anyone who tried to save and rewarding anyone who already owned assets, which is conveniently the older generation once again. Now layer on the things that aren't actually about money at all, the things being handed forward, like a bill left on the table for future generations. Take climate. The older generation enjoyed the benefits of cheap and abundant fossil fuels. The cars, the flight, the consumption, the growth, and largely deferred the cost, which is then happily picked up by the younger generations. A warmer planet, rising seas, wilder weather, and the staggering expense of rebuilding entire economies, all while being lectured to consume less than the people who set the thermostat. Some crises are hard to foresee and prepare for. This one wasn't. And if we delay action, we just end up paying a higher price later, because inaction is, a matter of fact, also an action. Then take the oceans. Fish stocks that was once abundant have been hollowed out by decades of industrial overfishing. The older generation simply ate from a fuller sea. The younger one inherits emptier water and the job of refilling it. Or take demographics. Birth rates has, across the developed world, fallen way below replacement rates. This sounds abstract until you understand what this means. A shrinking number of working-age people will have to support a growing number of retirees. The pensions, the healthcare, the social safety nets, all designed when there were more workers per retiree, now land on a younger, smaller generation that didn't write the math but has to balance it anyway. The demographic dividend has quietly become the demographic reckoning. And then the newest twist, one no generation before has ever faced: AI, artificial intelligence. The older generation built careers in a world where human skills had a reliable, rising value. The younger generation is walking into the workforce just as machines start doing more and more of the cognitive work: the writing, designing, analyzing, coding. We don't know yet how this will shape out. It might create extraordinary opportunities for all of us. But it adds a deep layer of uncertainty for people who were told to study hard for jobs that may look very different or simply exist in far fewer numbers by the time they hit mid-career. And here is where it gets even sharper. Because if you're a millennial, you at least got a foot in the door before some of this hit you. You might have bought a house before the very top. You started your career before the machines showed up. Gen Z gets the same deck, dealt later and worse. They're hitting the housing market at even higher prices. They're graduating straight into the AI competition, not halfway through a career. They inherit one more decade of deferred climate action and one further turn of the demographic screw. If the millennials get a bad deal, Gen Z get the same deals, but the prices is elevated and the exits are more narrow. So let's be honest here about the full stack. More expensive housing, worse pensions, different climate, oceans being depleted, and a demographic pyramid that has been inverted, employment contract that doesn't look the same at all, and a lot more debt. This at the same time as the climate is getting worse and AIs might be taking your job. Stack all of that up and you start to understand why so many young people feel the basic deal the parents took for granted: work hard, buy a home, raise a family, retire in peace, has quietly been withdrawn. It would be easy to stop right there, defeated, doom and gloom. But the numbers are real, the frustration is earned. Now here's the part of the video where you're expecting the turn, where I will tell you that everything is going to be alright. Nope, not happening. You are still royally screwed, just as the title of this video promised you. From a generational standpoint, that's still the most honest story there is. But in case you're thoroughly depressed, I can at least help you push back on some of the despair. Because despair is its own kind of trap, and happens to be exactly the mindset that keeps everything the way it is. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. None of the things I mentioned is a law of nature, remember that. There were no rising house prices under feudalism, there were no defined benefit schemes in a planned economy, and every one of these arrangements, the tax breaks, the interest deductions, the pensions rules, the regulation, is human choice, a political design. And everything human designed can be redesigned. The thing that usually stops change isn't that change is impossible, it's that we've been fed a story that the way things are is the way they must be. So stop wishing for a world that was, and start to adapt aggressively to the world that is. We're not victims of the system we were born into, but we can be its architects. Now, one caveat I owe you, because I want to be fair, and not just rage at one generation. Individuals who bought a house in 1985 and watched it soar didn't cheat anyone. Most of them simply lived life inside rules they were handed, made sensible decisions, and the system rewarded them. The point of this video isn't to blame your parents. It's to see the machine clearly, because you can't change what you refuse to look at. So that's the diagnosis. And I know, if you're young and you made it this far, you might be feeling pretty bleak right now. But don't be, or not at least entirely. Because in our next video, we're going to step off the doom train and ask the only question that actually matters once you understand all of this. If you're young today, staring down this exact situation, what can you generally do about it? Are there real tangible moves, actual strategies to build security, still afford a home, still come out ahead in a game that looks rigged from the start? Or is it hopeless? Well, the honest answer, as always, is a bit nuanced. It's not pure doom, and it's not a fairy tale either. And later in the series, we'll do a proper deep dive on population growth, because the story is stranger and interesting than the headlines let on. Because in the end, the future isn't a forecast, it's a possibility. And it is easier to invent the future than to predict it. But that's for next time, and I really hope to see you then.